Hello, everyone. We are back again for another podcast for the Mindfulness and Positivity group, which we love. You may have noticed by my face that the UK weather is hot for once. I know that a lot of people are from the UK. It's hot today, and I've just looked in the mirror and I look like a lobster. Okay, so here we go. Another one. We've chosen someone we asked the group if anyone had a story to tell about something that gone on. Today we've got Tom. Tom's got a story. I have no idea what it is at all, but he's just about to come on to tell us. On a personal level, if you've never subscribed to the channel, could you hit the button? I think it's in the bottom right hand corner. Hit that button for me. Subscribe. You don't miss any more podcasts. I do videos as well. My channel's called Christian Hoyle, Catalyst for Change. All I'm sort of bothered in life is making life better and enjoying it more and making personal changes that make your perception of life better. And when your perception's better and your perspective on things is interchangeable, then you find that things become better and you enjoy it more. This is the best group ever for that. I love the quotes. I love the people in it. There's loads of you that we're going to get on. We want more of you. If you've got stories, or some of you are coaches, just some awesome people on there. We want more of you to come on the podcast. Let us know about things you've overcome, things, how you go about your daily life. Do you meditate? How do you keep calm and active? So let's welcome Tom in now. So here comes Tom.
Hi.
Hey, Tom.
Hi, Christian. How are you?
Hey, I'm all right, mate. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well today.
So where are we based?
Based in Pittsburgh, PA.
Right. Pittsburgh, PA. What's the PA?
Pennsylvania.
Ah,
USA.
right.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the weather like?
Oh, it's a beautiful day today. Beautiful. Sun shining, not too many clouds in the sky. Just
Awesome.
had some pretty bad storms roll through here yesterday, but it's nice today.
So what is it? Is it like, for instance, I've just been saying, just before you come on, I have a little introduction.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just saying that I looked in the mirror and I'm bright red because the sun's out. Like, it's the UK. The weather's been not very good. I've gone and played golf today, and it's just, I feel like I'm an actual lobster in my face.
Yeah, well, we've been pretty cloudy here for the past month or so. So we're happy to see the sunshine. I might get a little sun myself this weekend.
Yeah. So I've noticed in the group, you put some positive comments in there. You've got a lot of positivity to add. I noticed you've always got a little point in. How do you find tell me about, tell me something about you. Tell me something about you.
Oh, it's a long story. It's a long story. I've had trouble with depression and PTSD in the past, and I've been through a few relationships, and I've had some pretty bad things happen to me in my life, and I've always seemed to come out on the other side of it a little bit stronger, a little bit better version of myself. I've always been told that I have tenacity, and I don't know. Yeah, tenacity. So I just keep putting my nose to the grindstone and just try to see the silver lining. I think it was in this group maybe about 3 months ago that I was not in a very good place, and one of the posts that popped up on the group suggested that I look for a silver lining that day. And I was not in the mood to look for silver linings.
Yeah.
And but I forced myself to do it. It was almost I couldn't not do it after reading the post, So the first big cloud that rolled through that day, I did exactly that. I looked for the silver lining, and over the next few weeks, I kept doing that. When I looked for the silver lining that first day, I felt just a little bit of relief from that anxiety and the pressure that I was feeling from whatever that was bothering me that day. And the thing is about these bursts of anxiety that overcome me, they're fleeting. And in my human brain. I know that.
Mm.
But at the time it's happening, I'm not aware that that's what's happening. And I get caught up in that feeling, and it consumes me. And it cuts off that higher level of thinking.
Yeah.
And just, I guess having that that little pause to say, wait, what's going on here? Where's that silver lining at? What's the other side of this? Just that little pause, that break in the action allows my higher brain to kick in and sometimes set things straight with me. Not always. I'm practicing this, you know. And
Can I Tom, we're in an interesting predicament because everything you just said, I've experienced in the last 2 weeks. And I'm going to say what my shift was. I've got something happened to me in July last year. Someone's done me. They've done me quite a lot. They've done me significant. And I've known about it the whole time, and I'm dealing with it. And I had this strange event last week, and I'd describe it all as perspective, that I had two choices. I was going into what you were saying then. I was burying a little. I was waking up and thinking that if I don't sort this out, I've never been depressed because I won't allow it to happen. But I feel that some of the things that have happened have been on that, and it's all about perspective. Because what I did on that day, someone else who also is in this thing that's been thing gave me their perspective, and I thought, all it is, exact same event, two different ways to look at it. One way I can look at it and I can be, oh, why me, pity me, bad me, oh, against me, victim of me. And that's what I was doing for a few days. Or I can look at the perspective and look from the outside and see this is happening. This isn't controlling, defining me. What I've got to do is put the perspective on what the issue is and start me. Like what you're saying, a silver lining, looking for other things, doing them things that make you feel good. So I'm with you.
Right. And it's so habitual. It's so easy to look outside, you know, to say, this is happening to me. Can't you see that this is happening? And everybody around you, everybody you're talking to says, yeah, that's happening.
Yeah.
What are you going to do about it? So the real exercise is going through that process, that alarming process, and then pausing and rerouting my thinking into a different response, not the one that's been repeating the same old behaviors over and over again. And that exercise is difficult. I can't exercise it by reading a book, and I can't exercise it by sitting in my room.
Yeah.
I have to get out there in the real world, and I have to interact with people. I have to interact with people that are going to trigger me.
Yeah.
Right? That's how I have to practice this.
Yeah. So I can't never say his name. Joe Dispenza said that it was pre-programmed responses. That what you're saying about habitual thinking is that, like, I got to I read this book, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, and I found that I used to have this weird thing about getting woken up in the morning, and I'd get woken up, and I'd go into this set of pattern of kicking off, and it was all I'd done it for years, and after a bit I started thinking, why am I acting like the jerk I was in my 20s? In my 40s. Well, it was actually in my 30s. I reckon I've had about 7 years of realizing that. All patterns of, like, why you don't have to act the same to everything that's happened before in exactly the same way. If you can start changing when an event happens and be more in the moment and think, all right, this has just happened. You know, like when something used to fall on the floor, I'd lose my mind. Oh, but I'll think, I'm going to clean that up now.
Right.
Two perspectives.
Yeah. I think, there was I've been married twice and been divorced twice. After going through the first divorce, I was a single dad, right? Shared custody of my daughter, and going through the process, I was accused of being an alcoholic. So I stayed sober for over 10 years while I was raising my daughter.
You didn't drink anything for 10 years?
No, and I was not an alcoholic, but I did stay sober. I did
Wow.
not drink anything for more than 10 years. Yeah.
Wow.
And I did it so that I could have my daughter in my life.
Wow. Awesome.
My ex was trying to take her away from me
Oh.
and use that as it was a baseless claim, but my lawyer just said, you might as well just stop.
How old's
So,
your daughter?
oh, she's in her 30s. She's turning 30 this year.
Is she?
30. Yeah, she'll be
Do you
30.
get a good
So.
bond? Do you see each other
Oh
a lot?
yeah, yeah. She and I are very close. Yeah,
Good.
yeah. That's been a blessing to have her in my life. But
Just a quick one first. Have you
go ahead.
taught what we're talking about now about changing the way of habitual thinking?
Mm-hmm.
Have you taught that to your daughter?
Oh yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I've been able to pass that along to her, and that wasn't an easy task because her mom and I had not the same philosophy of teaching our daughter.
Yes.
That was difficult. Her mom is German, and she has a very different philosophy of upbringing, and the whole culture is different. The whole background was different. So, fortunately, I was able to pass on some mindful practices to her, and I always approached communication with her as age appropriate, transparent honesty. Always, from the very start of the split, when she started asking the tough questions and I was scrambling for answers, I reached out to everybody around me that had been through a divorce. As if they were children of divorce, or if they had gone through a divorce themselves, or their kids were divorced, and what the grandkids were going through. And I talked about it in therapy, and
divorce. It's a funny thing, divorce, isn't it?
Yeah, it's tricky. It's a difficult thing.
I've got a funny story today about divorce, right?
Yeah.
So this is quite funny. Yesterday I'm divorced, and I actually am now in a building where my I don't like to call her my ex-wife because she's like my sister. I like get on unbelievably well with her. She's upstairs. She's upstairs now. I can hear her going around. So my partner's kids went to the dad's last night, and their daughter has tested positive for COVID. So my partner's gone to get their kids come back. They're going to isolate at the house. So I've moved in to my ex-wife's.
Oh boy!
Yeah, so I rang her because she's cool. She said, "Yeah." Turned up at work before. And she goes, "Oh, it's my lodger, is it? All right." But we are that. Do you know what? You might not have got that with yours, but I think just because she's not my wife, I think she's a cool person, and I get on with her, and we have a special bond that bringing our kids up. And it's funny you said that our kids never question why we finished because they knew we shouldn't have been together at the time. We're much better not together. Do you know what I mean? We get on now, it's great.
Yeah. And I think for my daughter, she's the only child I have. She sees today why the two of us aren't together, and she understands it completely. And for the first. She was young. She was almost 5 when we split. So she was really young when we split up. And of course, she did the typical adolescent thing that it's all my fault. What you guys should be back together, and why don't you get together?
Right.
And those were difficult conversations to have with her. But I had good people around me, and always was reaching out to other people, therapists, and when I was staying sober, I had a really tight group of sober people around me that supported everything I did, and they were there for me when I was having tough times, and didn't know how to face a situation, or I can remember the transition days when my daughter would go from one house to the other. Those were, in the beginning especially, were very difficult. And I remember this one day in particular, and her mom and I got into an argument on the steps with my daughter standing right next to me, and some very embarrassing names were called back and forth, and my innocent little girl was standing right there, and she didn't need to hear either one of us saying things like that about the other. And when when her mom left, we walked in the house, and I sat her down on the couch, and I was in tears, and I told her how sorry I was for my behavior, and that I shouldn't have behaved that way, and that sometimes I get so angry that I lose my temper, and I say things I don't want to say.
Everyone does it.
Hurtful things, right?
Yeah,
and without any hesitation at all. Here's this sweet little 5-year-old girl sitting on the couch, and she says, "Daddy, why don't you just do what I do when that happens to me?" I said, "What do you do?" "I ignore her." And I had to bite my lip to keep from laughing, but it was so true, out of the mouths of babes.
Kids are innocent, aren't they? They tell the honest truth.
That I need to hear at that point in time. And I think, getting back to mindfulness and positivity, had I not been aware and not been open to the possibility of hearing a message from somewhere, anywhere, at any given point in time of my life, I wouldn't hear these things. I wouldn't have these little messages coming to me, the silver linings. That mantra that came up to me while going through this process. I don't know if you remember that or not. It came up through that silver lining, that silver lining post. From that sprung I had been using meditation 3, 4, 5, 6 times a day, just to try. Yes, wow. to try to calm my anxiety attacks.
Wow.
And they were very helpful, and it worked every time. It was just how frequent
because in the group, a lot of people are asking questions. How can I stop my anxiety? How can I stop these things? And you're saying that you had it in the meditation. I mean, meditation is
number one for me. When I have an anxiety attack, the first thing I do is I stop whatever it is I'm doing, and I breathe. I just start breathing. I control my breath, and I focus on my breath. If I'm out and about and I've had this happen to me a couple of times. An anxiety attack happens. One time I was in the hardware store, and I was just overcome with anxiety, and I couldn't stand in line anymore. I had to put my items down and walk out of the store to my car.
Wow.
And I just sat there, got comfortable, closed my eyes, and started concentrating on my breathing. And once I got my breathing under control, I started reconnecting everything in my mind with the rest of my body. It's a really strange feeling for me when I get into those attacks, those anxiety attacks. And
I don't know whether you didn't notice a post by a guy called Adam Hart this week about a breathing technique in the group. I did a podcast with him 2 weeks ago, and it's quite random. He told me a quick breathing. I've never done this. It was a simple hand on your heart, 4 seconds to breathe in, 7 seconds out. You do it 3 times. You think about something grateful. Yeah. I swear to you, about 3 days ago, I was and it's random. I was at the thing, and I had a bit of something that annoyed me, and I'd let myself be annoyed. And I just straight away did that. And you know what? Brought me back down.
Yeah.
Next minute, Adam sends me an email saying, "Do you want this breathing thing?" I was like, "Yeah." And he sent it, and I went, "That's random. I remembered you told me about it in the podcast, and it works. It just brought me, back in the room."
Yeah, it does work. It really works. And then once I get the breathing under control, then I will start to meditate. If this happens with me at home, I have a nice, comfortable place where I'll sit, and I have a playlist of guided meditations that I like. I've listened to many, many of them, and there are certain ones that I resonate with, and they work for me. They put me into.
Can you recommend one? Can you recommend someone that you? Everyone's always looking for recommendations.
You know what? I can't do it right off the top of my head, because it's just how I am. I know where these things are, but I don't waste any brain.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Brain knowledge. You know what I mean?
I'm totally with you.
But I can definitely get that information to you.
Yeah, cool.
My favorites. I'll put some favorites together for you. But yeah,
what about Happy Tom? Is Happy Tom more now? Is Happy Tom more now? Once you learn to change, have you learned that perspective of like life? happiness, it starts in your
Oh,
mind,
yeah.
and reality is created in there, and you can either live a good perspective of reality of being this amazing, tranquil, lovely place, or
Yeah.
it can be dark and horrible, negative, and the law of attraction brings that all
Yeah.
to you, and you
Yeah.
drag it all in, and it's horrible.
Yeah.
Where are you, Tom?
Well, I am. I have seen that happy Tom before several times in my life.
I like
And
him.
you know, I've been through a lot of these different 2 divorces, and there's been another failed relationship that it was a 4-year relationship, and it ended just as the pandemic was beginning.
No way. Oh, what a timing. And were you in lockdown in Pittsburgh? Did you have a
Lockdown in Pittsburgh, could not move, was trapped there for the next 6 months. I got out of there in September.
Have you got a dog? Have you got a dog?
I got a dog, yeah.
At least you've got a dog. I've got a dog.
Yeah.
That's that. What kind of dog you got?
Oh, he's a Chihuahua mix, is what they told us. He's a rescue.
He's a barker.
Rescue. Yeah,
he's a barker.
He's a barker. Oh yeah, he's a good dog.
Oh, that was tough timing. But relationships do end. Friendships, people, and you know, like it doesn't mean. So I have to think about relationships end. I've only got a few that I didn't want. Like I've got one with like a best mate who was my best man, and I miss him. I do miss him. I miss him as a person, and it ended for whatever reason. We fell out, and I'd love to have him back, but I miss him. But some relationships end because I might not be married to Sarah, but I'm still keeping my relationship forever with her. You know, because she's, you know, it might not work out as a partner, you know, that kind of thing, like business partners or.
It's like my daughter's mom. She and I wouldn't call us friends. We're friendly. We, you know, we'll talk to each other. We have nothing to do with each. We live in different states now, and our paths don't cross.
Yeah.
My second wife and I would talk with her at the drop of a hat. She and I are still
good.
Yeah, and this last relationship that I'm getting out of, well, I'll tell you, there's another relationship that I ended that actually probably troubles me more than any other. And that's to my older brother.
I know about that. I've got a similar thing.
Yeah, I worked for him for 17 years.
Ah.
Yeah, and
What do you do, Tom?
He made a lot of promises.
What do you do?
Well, at the time, I was a precious metal refiner.
Right.
Yeah, and right now I'm a dental technician. I own a virtual dental lab that specializes in making gold crowns.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, but when I worked for my
British,
brother,
so you know we've got bad teeth, don't you?
Well, I'm British heritage, so there's that.
Oh, have you? Where's your British heritage from?
Well, my last name is Mappin. Do you know any famous Mappins? No? Mappin
no, I don't know. Whereabouts were they from?
How about Mappin and Webb? Silversmiths.
Yeah, I know Mappin and Webb.
They're my family lineage.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Whereabouts in England?
My grandfather was English.
Ah, from where?
He was first generation United States citizen. So his dad came I'm not exactly where from. He came in England. But yeah, Mappin and Webb. There's a terrace in the London Zoo with my name on it. Mappin Terrace. Up by the polar bears. I went and visited while I was there. Yeah.
Quality.
So where were we? We were.
Oh, I'm glad you do that because I do this all the time. You see, I'm off on a train of thought and I go off on a total separate subject, and then I'm looking at the other person thinking they think I should know what I'm on about, and I've lost where we're going.
Magic ending.
So, what about life now, Tom? You seem are you getting a good? Is life good? Are you creating a good existence?
I'm in the process of creating that good existence. You know, coming out of that relationship, I was unemployed, building this new company. Really didn't have much of an income. The pandemic put my company in a pretty much a freeze, right? I wasn't making any money that way. So I've been living off of savings and needing a place to move to, not having enough money to buy a house. So I had to think on my feet. And I had a friend who lives in a duplex and he lived in the side that he had finished, and he had another side that wasn't finished at all. There were no utilities, there were no floors, there were some walls missing, there were some ceilings missing.
I hope you've got ceilings and walls now, haven't you? You're not going to tell me you're actually living
We
in a shed.
Yeah. Yeah. So what I did was I worked. I made a deal with him. I said, if you want to get this project started, I'll provide you labor, discounted labor. You provide me discounted rent, and let's get your space so that it's a positive cash flow, and I'll have a place to live that is away from the trouble in my life. And there's so much negativity in that.
New exciting beginning that you built up from the foundations upwards. That's
Yeah,
a bit like the resilience inside. From the foundations up, we build it up and we keep going.
Yeah, this is urban camping, is what this is.
Urban camping, I like that.
Yeah. So basically, I've been living I look at it as an efficiency apartment. I have a bathroom and a bedroom upstairs, and I have a kitchen downstairs.
Right.
So that's my situation for now, and I'm fine with that. I have my computer. I have my business is all virtual, so it takes place right here.
Right.
I have my art here. I can paint. I can draw.
Perfect.
I have my dog. So
you have happiness.
I'm more
you grow in a happy foundation where you are, and you're resolute in the fact that you've had some past problems.
Yeah.
But they're gone. They are the past, and the future's now. Now, today. We're looking at today. I like to look at today. I'm not bothered about yesterday, and I'm not bothered about tomorrow. It'll come. Tomorrow's going to come. I've just got today's my day, and I've got And when I said I'm not for me, I really had to get I've got a motivational YouTube channel because I'm motivated, and in the last few weeks I had a few things that unmotivated me, and it was first time in a long time in my life I had to bounce, and I thought, I see what's happening here, I'm gonna do something about it. And like you said, I put myself around the right people. I exercise a lot. I exercise with other people, tennis tonight, cycling. I'll do things. I got home on Monday. This was Monday this week. I'd had a terrible day because some of my news was it is, to be honest though, there's not many people who would be able to take what has happened to me. And I think I'm it's just another testing stone for me to move on. But Monday was a bad day. Went home and I thought, I'm going to be miserable. I was a bit miserable. And the mate rings me, we're going cycling. I said, nah. And then I sat there and I thought, what else am I going to do? So I said, I live in a beautiful part of England where it's beautiful. Went cycling. It was the most amazing experience. It was so hard. Loved it. I did get back and my back was killing. But you know what? My mind was going, woo-hoo-hoo!
Yeah.
Like when you're going down a hill and you're going, woo! That's what it's like. And I came back and I brought that energy back with me, and I just left before. I'm allowed to feel bad. I just don't feel bad for long because I'm not having that. I'm not having that energy, because if I have that feel bad energy, I'm attracting more of that. I've got to feel good because I attract the right energy coming, and that's what it's about.
Right. For me. Right. And one of the places I get to exercise that concept of acceptance and release is in meditation. When those ideas come at me one after the other and distracting me from my breathing, that's my practice. That's my exercise of, yes, accept that as, oh, you didn't like what that person did to you. Okay, well, let that go. I'm back to my breathing again. And that really does help a lot. It really has given me a lot more. I don't want to say thick skin, tolerance, patience with other people when talking with them, and something they say maybe just 2 months ago might have made me go,
Yeah, reacted.
Right, I would react or respond to it, where today I just hear it. Yeah. Right, I'm just listening to it, and it's just the words they're saying to me and the tone they're saying it, and take that for what it is. Does it need a response? Does it need my input? Maybe I just need to let it go.
Yes, let it go.
Right?
I'm reading the book, and I'm going to recommend this. I spoke about this in my last podcast, but I only read the first bit. Then I'm reading The Greatest Secret. So have you heard of The Secret?
I have not.
Have you not?
I'm not.
Wow. Wow. Okay. The Secret's by Rhonda. The Secret's a very famous book. It's got a Netflix film, and it's a book, and it's about the law of attraction and about manifesting things in your life. That's The Secret, and I totally 100% agree with it all.
Mm-hmm.
So the greatest secret is teaching you about. There's that great question: Who are we? Who are we? Who are we? Because who you think I am is maybe you've seen off a podcast or a post. And then there's what my ex-wife thinks of me, what my kids think. I walk out the shop, I know loads of people. Every single one has a different perspective of who I am. And the only person who thinks I am is me. So who am I? So there's all that question. So the book raises the thing of who you are is awareness. You are awareness, because no matter what goes on in here, you're the person who's watching it all go on. So your mind's going, all that nonsense that it chats. It does go. You're the awareness watching it. And one thing that it's taught me, and this has been this week, this has been an eye opener, that I am a bit of them who's always rejected emotions. Like if something's bad, I'll leave it and I'll just leave it there and not think about it. And maybe that's been one of my problems with what went on. That this is saying, when that emotion comes, anger or frustration or jealousy or whatever it is, don't reject it. Let it sit on you. And just observe it, because once you, like it actually says, and I keep doing this, I'm actually doing this. You'll see me in the street going like that. It says, put your arms around it and hug it and just let it be.
Yep.
And like a meditation, like in meditation, we have to stop our minds from thinking and we let it roll off. The same with the feeling. So the feeling comes, and I might be mad. As a young kid, I was a bit of a scrapper. I was brought up in a bit of a scrapping area. And in my mind, this chimp is a scrapper. I'm not a scrapper. I don't scrap. But from years ago, I don't want to be that guy, but he's in there and he's always wanting to sort the problems out. I sit and I let him pass through, and I think he's not me. I'm me. I'm the person being awareness and watching it. And it's changed my perspective in a week. You know, every new book we read gives a new perspective, doesn't it? I love that. I love self-development. I love new things. I love this. Us chatting about different perspectives ourselves.
Yeah. I love it too.
Yeah, I love it. When you smile, Tom, you see you've got a smile, and you smile on your whole face.
It's here.
Nice.
Everyone. Genuine smiles. Smiles.
I've got them. I'm getting them as well.
I read an article about that a couple of years ago about how a genuine smile is identified, and it's identified by those creases around.
Yeah, I got
around up in here. Yeah. It's just it's
I like to think, like in the lockdown, we're a beacon. Like people, like I'm going to say just me, because I only know myself in my life, that I think there's a lot of people rely on my positiveness. And when I had a tiny little issue, I remember I still had to keep these people rolling on. But I think that's my job. I think I'm sent here as a special servant to smile at people and actually go, "You all right?" And then say it again. "How are you all right?" To someone I don't even know them. I'm willing to chat to anyone in the town, anyone I go.
Yeah.
Because that's why I want to do podcasts. I love chatting to people. It's the greatest energy between. You're in America, I'm in England, and we can pass energy. What is it, 10,000? I don't know how many miles. It's a lot, but
about
we can connect.
3,000. 3,000.
Yeah, yep. I don't know what's 10,000. I just made that up there.
Geography's not your strong point. Golf is. Maybe someday we can golf together.
Oh, you've played golf?
Oh, yeah. Played golf since I was about 12.
So you're good then. See, I'm not good.
No, I'm not that good. No,
all right, I'm average.
About an 82, 83, 84.
Is that about an 18 over?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm that. That's me.
Yeah.
I'm the 18 over guy. I can do the odd good shot, but I can do some And I'll tell you, golf, if anyone, right? So let golf be your illustration of life. Two things I like about golf. I never, ever take my phone on the course. I'm addicted to my phone. I never have it. I leave it. It's a rule. It's a habit. I created it. Second one is golf's like life. So I get to that first hole, and I might be really good, but often I'm terrible. And I do this shot, and it's terrible. Some people carry that negative energy throughout the whole course. Me, I didn't do very well on hole number 1. I've got another chance though at hole 2. And that's what I think. I don't look at lost opportunities. I think new opportunity. That one's buried. Move on. And I might hit. Like I hit one. Today I played 9 holes and I hit one shot.
That's all it takes.
Yeah. I hit the best 3-wood I'd ever done. And I was like,
Oh, isn't that a
I
feeling?
wanted like people to look at me like we're doing this walk. Yeah, that was me, dude.
Isn't that a feeling? Yeah,
It is.
yeah, yeah. So, and I've been lucky, really lucky, in that about 25 years ago, I hit a hole in one.
No.
Yeah, it was one of the hottest days of the year. My best friend and I had been walking this course. They wouldn't let us take the carts on it for whatever reason that day, and so we were walking this course. It was very hot. It was over 100 degrees in Virginia, and it was about 185-yard long hole, and I hit the best 3-iron I've ever hit in my life.
3-iron, which is a difficult club.
Right. It was just all I was planning on doing was poking it down the fairway and running it up onto the
What
green.
par was it?
Par 3.
Oh, it's a par 3. Okay.
Yeah.
Must be a big par 3 to use a 3-iron.
185 to the pin.
Right.
Yeah. And
awesome.
I never felt the ball on the face of the club. It was just, I heard a click. It was just a effortless swing and a click, and it bounced on the green and rolled in the hole.
That click, so people who don't play golf, right? Say I hit 500 shots. Like today, I hit 500 shots, and like a lot of them are rubbish, but I might have 3 that I hit the click, and it makes that ping. So this is like noise, right? So everything I did in that shot, I got right. I got my stroke right. I got the swing right. I got the impact right. I got the follow through, and that's like life. You know, like you don't always hit the ping in life.
Yeah.
Me, I don't. I'm like rare pinger. So every so often when you ping life with whatever and something goes, well, that's great. Right. That's good. But it can't always ping. You've got to get used to it not pinging. You've got to get used to, like me, whacking in the ground and it going off and thinking, just getting used to that's what happened. I'm moving on. Yeah. All right, didn't do what I wanted, but what about what I can do from where it is now? And
right.
That's
it's
about getting
that
life analogies here, you know, life through golf.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, it's the reward center, isn't it? Like that round of golf. You can play 9 holes or 18 holes and hit 1 or 2 shots like that. And that 1 or 2 shots, it's enough for me. It's enough reward to get me out there again.
Yeah.
Even though the other 87 of them were terrible.
What about then in life? What's your reward in life to get you back out? So you told me you've had 2 failed marriages. You've just like thinking it, and I don't see it as, you say failed, but you learned a lot about you, about other people, how to interact. So I don't see it as a failure. I say that didn't, you know, like my marriage, and it wasn't a failure because us 2 together are now strong as parents. We're, you know, it's not a failure. I don't feel it's a failure.
And I guess that's a term of habit more than anything, because I've, you know, having gone through therapy both during and after both of those marriages, and the relationship with my brother, the working relationship with my brother, that ended with therapy as well. I was well armed and well trained on how my mind works, you know, and how my body works, and but getting through each one of those was a little bit different each time, right? I picked up more tools and put them in my toolbox with each one of those, the ends of each one of those relationships, and going through the therapy.
What about someone else is going through it now? What are you telling them? Someone, I tell you, there's 21,000 people in this group, and lots of people are going through relationship breakups. What are you telling them? Because we all know it's tough.
Find someone to talk to. That's number one. Find somebody that you can share with. You've got to be able to connect with another human being. I'm really going through this breakup most recently. It's been really hard because of the COVID isolation.
Yeah, that's tough.
I'm a connected kind of guy. I like to hug people. I like to talk with people. I like to be around people, and that was impossible with my roommate that I used to be friends with, and it's not like that anymore. You know, it's You asked a question and I've forgotten it.
Great. I love the fact you do that. It makes me feel better inside that it's not just me, Happens a lot. I don't know. Some people on podcasts, I'll go, I've no idea what, and they'll go, you were just on about this and this. Can you follow me around in life? Can you be here everywhere?
Yeah. Well, the golf analogy we were talking about, the golf analogy.
Yeah, no, we'd moved on to like what relationship advice that like people, relationships are always ending and breaking. And I know that it's like in the group, a lot of people come to the group because they are looking for some kind of salvation to help them. A lot of them are like people like me who are addicted to feeling good. I'm addicted to having a good life. I'm addicted to creating good energy. I'm addicted to connecting with good people. We're not happy there. Are we happy with the hair now?
No.
What is it?
It doesn't. I have no idea. It's no
But like it's like relationships are the best thing in the world, but they can also be, I mean,
they are.
Kids, you know about one last night. I had a big bust up with my kids last night about just no respect for me as an individual, and me and Sarah have talked, and we're having them because they've been doing it with her. We're going in, so they're not expecting me at their house tonight, but they were like, "Daddy's back."
Okay.
You were saying before that because my kids have never once questioned us being divorced because we function together. It's no like I'll ring Sarah up and it's like they've never seen. I think they prefer it. The fact that they get to have 2 hours when they're annoyed with the mum, come to me and they definitely get annoyed with me because I'm annoying after a bit, and then they go off to the mum and they have this split week where they do one of it. I think they love it. I think they like the best of it.
Yeah. I think it's the relationships are tricky, aren't they? They are tricky.
Massively.
Yeah, and
they're amazing though as well. I know any relationship.
Yeah, and so for someone who's going through that breakup now, I mentioned find someone to share with, and luckily there's been this group and a couple of other groups that I've been in.
What other groups? You're allowed to talk other groups. Katie's a really lovely person. I'm always interested in other groups. What are your other groups?
Well, there's a narcissist support group that I've joined. Narcissist survivor support group. Narcissistic abuse. Hey, it is traumatizing. I did not know who this person was that I was in the 4 years in this relationship.
Wow.
And it wasn't until the pandemic that I really understood who she was.
Wow.
And it was a totally different person than who I thought I was with.
Wow.
And
it's interesting in business. Narcissism, I know what it is because I've worked with some narcissists, but it's mad. In entrepreneurship, narcissists are pretty good at business, and I've ended up working with some knowing they're a narcissist, and like they're not even likable, but they're awesome. And sometimes
they're so charming, aren't they? They're very charming. Very charming.
They're just so obsessed about themselves, like I'm not that, I'm just not obsessed in everything about myself. It's
right.
It's almost like it's a mental illness, narcissism, but that no one can see it. But if it's used in the right way, it can be actually an amazing tool for someone because it's real, real inside themselves. They feel they can do anything, and they're really.
They feel invincible. Feel invincible. But there's another side to that they also they don't feel good about themselves.
No, yeah, and that's why they project this other thing. Yeah,
right.
What other group then? Give us another group.
Oh well, the other groups. It's actually it's my art group, the Adobe. It's the Adobe. I follow Adobe, and there's an Adobe logo designers group that I'm in.
Is that?
Yeah. So
and does that drift off into other thing that's not logo design but more just chatting? I think any group can be train spotters, and next minute we're talking about relationships or
absolutely, yeah. The conversations go in all different directions, like with any of these groups. Yeah. Yeah. And awesome. Also, so that in those groups, the more support comes from the mindfulness and positivity group, number one.
Awesome. I can just tell it's an awesome group because people genuinely want to help other people. They're not like seeing anyone as a drain. Something comes up, you think, you know what? I think I can help. I'm going to write something. Or just very supportive.
Right.
Like people are very supportive. I put something up and someone actually says, you know, that's great, brilliant. Why didn't you come up with that? Actually, I think it's one of the. I love it, and I love doing the podcast for it. I love meeting the people of it. We always want new people. I love the fact that you contacted me to give you a story because everyone's in there as a learner from each other. You know, like, you know, we're in there passing in. You know, what makes you calm and what makes you feel better? What are you doing? I like to know people's daily practices. I'm all about positive, healthy habits. I love other people's. I love it, and there's some real smart people in that group. You know,
Oh yes,
like,
there are.
There's one woman I'm trying to get on the podcast, so I can't remember her name. I've sent her a message, but she wrote this thing, and I said, "Do you write that?" She put, "Yeah." I couldn't write that if I tried for 5 years. You know, it was like, I think, and it was about the awareness that I told you about the book. That's what I showed an interest. She was like, well, how come you're interested? And I was thinking, she read that book because it was about awareness and being about what we are. Who are we? We are awareness. So she's going to be on, but she's intelligent. I can tell she's going to be much more intelligent than me.
Yeah. Well, the group. This group is just. It's been phenomenal. I've met quite a few cool people in here that just. They're spot on. They're my tribe. It's my tribe. This is my tribe. These are the people I've been looking for.
Oh, I agree. You know, Katie, how I came across it was I was in this group, start doing podcasts. I think, you know what? Who runs this group? I'd love them. Find out it's Katie Wise. It is. She's my new mate. So I speak to her quite a lot now. So from that, I did an interview with Katie Wise, who's the group. And
I've seen that one, actually.
Yeah. And
I
loved her. She's bloody awesome. And then from that, next week, she sends me this message. Don't suppose you'd want to do the podcast. And I was like, this is a universal gateway, and I've attracted this, and it's what I need because it's the kind of people I want to talk to. My skills are this. I've just had a guy in here now. One of my things, I rent office space out. Today, I need to rent the office space out because I've got some financial thing that's going to need paying next month. So, all right, this guy's coming to rent the office. Get an email as soon as I come. Someone else wants it. I've had this office free for 3 months. I walk in here today, set an email. And it says, hi, Christian, you're chatting about the office. Can I have it? I know this guy's coming. This guy comes. He's got a podcast. So the guy who's just come to get my office upstairs, and I took him down into this room where I'm at now. You can't see, but there's no windows. So he's got a nice backdrop for the podcast. And I said, and I've got a really good mic. I said, you can use this for podcast if you want. He was like, no way. So, but he's his mortgage podcast, and he sounds like he's pretty successful at doing that. But he likes a podcast. I thought, how crazy that we've been drawn together. And he loved being in here because I've got some light. I said, use it. I want you to use it if you want to use it. So that's pretty cool.
That's cool. That's so cool, isn't it? It's just serendipitous.
I just learned that word yesterday. You know what? Did you see that on the post yesterday on the group?
I did, yes, but I've been using that word for a long time. Yeah, my mom.
I didn't know what that meant.
Yeah.
She's not the woman I was on about, but she's intelligent. The lady who wrote Serendipity, I've also contacted her to ask her to come on because I watched that. I read what she put and thought, I love the word. Serendipity is a lovely, lovely word. I didn't know what it meant until yesterday.
Yeah.
I did know I understand it, but
Yeah.
It's great. It's a great group. It's great for attracting the right people. And it's like, it's a place where you're going to grow inside and you're going to feel good. And Katie, she's like that. She's lovely. She's lovely. And that's what she's doing. She's created it. It's like she had the group. It was actually someone else's group, she's told me.
Yeah.
And then she started doing the stuff. And in the end, she said, well, I'm pretty much doing it. And whoever that other person was, I'll already love them, said, you know what? You're right. You should. Instead of hanging on to it, because they went, you're right. You have built this up. It is going to be yours. I love that stuff.
Yeah, that was
perfect.
It. That was a beautiful story too. That just the original builder, seeing that she was the planter of the seed, but Katie's the gardener of the plants. And she's.
You know what, I'm gonna throw this out. Katie's semi-single at the minute because the thing is, she's some guy who lives in the south of England should be snapping her up. Do you know what I mean? She snapping her up, and I think that's what, because she's like, after a bit, if you start working on you start putting this energy out, and every time you smile and laugh, you're putting out the energy that's going to get you whatever you want, Tom.
Exactly.
Every time I look at you and you smile and the whole face does it, that's the bit that people are coming to knock on your door about.
Yeah,
I can see it. And that's the bit that's going to get you there, like, because I can see you've had a few relationships, you're going to want another one. Because it's the best bit, the first bit. It's like, woohoo! It's the most exciting thing in the world. It's like,
yeah, I'm into the work of it too, though.
yes,
Maybe I'm silly like that, but I'm into the work of it.
it's exciting. What you're into having fun and enjoying and like making someone feel good that makes you feel good, and taking someone, being romantic, taking them off the feet, giving a look in someone's face where they feel so special that you think, I love this.
Yeah,
it's amazing. It's quality.
Broadening both our horizons, you know.
Yeah,
it's multiplying an experience. You know, you're talking earlier about how you're in England and I'm in the United States, and here we are sharing this energy. And
I am. I love this. It is good. I'm feeling it.
And that's what I find is so awesome in this group as well. You know, I have a friend a really good friend of mine who doesn't have a very good outlook on the world today, and he doesn't know of this group.
Send him in.
Shared with him.
I'm ready for him. What's he called? I'm ready for him. I'll find him. What's his name? I look out for people who need. I swear I do. I look out for people who I think, who can I put in? I can get this. I've had this in my hand all the time because I'm a fiddler under the table. I can go ping and put a little bit of something. Let a little opening and then let me in. I'm in there. Right. Okay, let's have a little look around here.
Yeah, but he doesn't have such a good outlook on life, you know, and he thinks the world is headed for doomsday. And
I've heard all this.
Don't, you know,
in their mind.
I see things completely differently. I see this group as it's a tiny gauge, just a very tiny gauge on our world as to our human evolution to that next level of consciousness. You know, I mean, it's pretty obvious to me that if we look back in history, our level of awareness has grown steadily.
Yes.
and it's reached plateaus at different points in our history, and I think we've been at one of those plateaus for quite some time now, and we're beginning to ascend that cliff.
Yeah.
You know, and right now we're climbing up the edge of that cliff, and
right now life's amazing. Life is always amazing. If you like even when I had a bad day, but that's just a bad day. It's a bad morning. You lost your perspective. You lost your stuff. You can always just. I have a like what this is. Here's my rule. If I ever have a bad day, which every so often everyone does, is my rule, and it's mega important to me. I do not allow it to go into the second day. I can go on mope. I'll do moping. I don't mind a bit. I actually think you should do a bit of moping. Yeah. I'll maybe read my mum's letter from when she died. I'll not make myself upset. I don't mind crying. I could tell you that I don't mind it, but I wouldn't let you see it. But I can tell you I don't mind it. And I sort of think, yeah, moping's good. Sometimes you can't always be happy. People who think you can always be, you can't be. Sometimes you mope. Next day, I'm not. I'm up and I'm lying in bed. The night before I go to bed, I speak to my subconscious mind. And I say, tomorrow, you're waking up and you're feeling good. And you're getting on with your sequences and you're going to do everything. You're going to have a great day. And I lie in bed, wake up in the morning, and I'm not lying about any of this. I go, right, today's going to be a day. I'm looking forward to it already. Before I'm just going, I go downstairs. And if I've ever had a bad day, I write in my grateful journal. I do that. And then I do my reading of 10 minutes. And then I do I do all the things. And I do exercise. And I'm back. And I fight it. And I'll fight it all the way. I'll keep going with it. And I'll interact. I'm a dog walker. Great. What do you do with dog walker? You speak to everyone who dogs.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? It's a chatty world out there.
Don't have to know them. You don't have to. Just hi. How you doing? Hey, nice puppy. Yeah. Yeah. It's great. It's
dogs are the greatest things in the world because my dog, who's 11 in 2 weeks, and she's getting a bit old, and oh god, I don't even want to think about that side. But
yeah,
I have 3 kids, 2 extended kids. I've got a partner, I've got best friends. No one loves me anywhere near my dog does. Not even my dog loves me 100%. Everyone else might love me 50, 60. My dog is like, I go in no matter what. I could be in a mood. She's my friend. I can shout at her. She's my friend. I'm out of order. She's my friend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As long as I'm feeding her, she's a Labrador. She's my friend,
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Very loyal. Yep.
Oh, so loyal. Like, it makes me feel
Always
bad when I've shouted at her. Just you saying that's a reminder that stop
yeah.
shouting at her. She's beating us.
Give you the eyes. The eyes.
Oh, that is. Have you seen her? Do you know her or something? Yeah. I called her a masculine. Do you remember Marley and Me? The film, which is mega sad. How sad is that? How sad is that?
Wow.
Yeah, it's a masculine name. My dog's a female, and because it's a Labrador, they all look a bit male, don't they? Because they're so big. And she's like, I gave her the masculine name, but she's very feminine,
Yeah.
So I love you loving the group, and as a little thing, anyone else listening, we want more people coming on because you're what you like. I've felt good energy in you now. I think that this is tripping you into the next bit. I think we've just sent you to go and get another relationship. And make it, everyone will. I think that's just what the vibe I've felt. I think you're back out there.
Well, if it happens, it happens. I hope so. It would probably scare me to death.
Good, because that's when you're happy. Like, I don't feel fear about the podcast, but I also do video. How I started was doing videos, motivational videos. I've done 50 now. I've got 100 target. I've got 350 subs. Please, if you haven't subbed and you're watching, press the button and sub for me. So I'm doing the best one I've ever done now. I'm doing one on where I live. I live in a Lake District, beautiful place. And I've done a video on the town. I can't wait to do it. But it really, really, really tests your ego. Like nothing. This doesn't. Talking. I'm good at talking. Talking on you, like me and you have got energy between us, haven't we? So I'm feeling it.
Yeah.
Talking on my own to the camera.
Yeah.
I find it's a test. I like that test. I like the fact that it makes me think, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I'm good enough. I don't know if I need that in my life. I need it. I just
challenge.
need it.
The challenge. You mean. Yeah. So, I have a challenge I'm facing too with my business. It's a big challenge, and
but you can do it.
Yeah, I can do it. I'm definitely up for it. But you're right. It's that challenge that makes it interesting.
What would you be doing? Like, it's that challenge that makes you think, can I do this? Because if you like, I read this thing this week, another universal gateway. So I told you about the book. It told me about that. I like it. That night that I said I had the bad day, I thought I'm getting ready for the next day. And as I'm going to bed, I'm already knowing that tomorrow's going to be good because I've got this rule. So I get into bed and I'm into Blinkist at minute, which is a synopsis of books. Turn it on and it randomly comes to this one called Goals. It couldn't have been more fitting for me as a person than in life. It was about making goals that push yourself in life, relationship, love, relationship, family, health and exercise, and work. Something that's 50% that you only think you've got a 50% chance of getting. That's the kind of the goal that you want, because it doesn't matter failing, because someone like me, I fail all the time, but I just get up. And that's why I have successes as well. Like, you've got to fail. And I hear this all the time, like that cliche. I did a video on it, how not to fail. One of my videos, it was something like, you must fail to go on. But it's true. Do you know what I mean? And if you people spend their whole life fearing making a fool of themselves, failing, and then they don't get anywhere. And my mum was one of them. My mum, like when my mum was dying, I said, what do you regret? She regretted so much she hadn't done. And it made me a bit sad, but I'm going to do some of them stuff for her. But you're not doing it. And whoever's listening is listening to what we're saying. And they're thinking, I'm going to get these things done.
Yeah. Go get them done. Live life. Live life, this past year's been tough. Isolated, stuck, disconnected, big changes on the horizon. We're going to get reconnected and get back out into the world and be happy, Tom.
So you just said all them things. You've got through that. That's one of the probably biggest things you've ever got through in your life. On its own, forget relationships, all that, but isolation of the lockdown and all that. I mean, I'm a positive, even it was getting me, and I'm blessed because I live in a amazing. The walks where I live are like phenomenal. It's just like just doing this video of where I live, and I'm just thinking, perspective is a lot of people when I ask them what's up with our town, they give so many negatives. Do you know what? When I went to do the video, all I saw was positives, and I'm not joking. I saw a lot of them. I saw like opportunities that are coming that are going to make this place, this amazing place, even more and more better. And while some people's perspective was, "Ew, there's no parking. Ew, they need to do this," where I saw opportunity, their perspective was, "No."
Yeah. Yeah. I heard one of my friends used to say, "We create our own weather."
I like it.
We create our own weather.
We're gonna leave on that one. So, but when we do leave. So, Tom, I hope you've enjoyed the experience. I know that people. I'm gonna put down that this was us talking about relationship breakdowns and picking yourself up from them, and I think that people listen to this. There's something in this for everyone. You know what I mean? That we're all going through crappy. This is life.
Yeah.
Don't get caught up in them because we're always on. Once you're there. Woohoo! You're on the way back up. You might get to the top and have to go back down again, but at least there's going back up.
Yeah, there's always tomorrow. There's always the next moment. This another old friend of mine back when I was staying sober. He used to say, "This is the question I always ask myself: is this the speed bump that I want to die on?" Not a hill.
I like him.
Not a hill, not a mountain, just a speed bump. Because all of these big things in our lives
are not that big.
Well, let's not minimize anybody's trauma.
No,
however,
I want to say this. Do you know
let's look at them for what they are.
Do you know what's big and massive? Is dying, right? And I've only seen one person die. When my mum was dying, very short, cancer, she was the only one not bothered because Mother Nature took over. It prepares you. It says, you gets you ready. She weren't bothered. And if that's your only worry, like you say, the speed bumps, I like that. Because that's all it is. It's just little things that go on. When you look back at 5 years ago, it's not that big. When you look at 10 years, you can barely remember. So when you're looking at 10, like our relationship split up, it's horrible. At least first month, terrible. I'll be honest, it is.
Yeah.
Cry
look,
a lot.
Look, there's no timeline on the grieving process. It's different for everybody.
Yeah.
And you'll go through it as fast as you're going to go through it. Just go through it.
Yeah.
And I can go through it and come out on the other side. I don't think I'm completely there yet, but I'm on my way. And I'm smiling more every day.
I feel it's coming.
Yeah.
I feel that today bounced you into a new exciting energy of thinking of attracting a new something. Because I like being with someone because I enjoy people's company. Do you know what I mean? It's going to happen for you, Tom. I'm leaving on that one, but amazing. I'm so glad that you enjoy the group and we've really enjoyed having us. I'll press end broadcast now, but we'll stay on. But thanks, Tom. Thank you so much. Really enjoyed chatting. Thanks, buddy.
All right.